Our topic today is Greek and the Bible. And up here you'd see Greek kai ha Biblias, or Greek in the Bible. When a person or an American like you guys thinks of the Bible, what do you normally think of?
The Bible.
God's Word. King James Version.
NIV.
I guarantee you that the one thing you guys will all have in common is that you think of the Bible in English. Am I right? Let me ask you, if you were to read this, would you be able to?
No.
How about this one?
No.
And even more, how about this one?
No, definitely.
Okay. Greek was the original language that was first used in the Bible, but we're going to cover that in just a few minutes. In order to understand the true meaning of the New Testament, readers should be able to read and understand Greek. Today we're going to learn to become better acquainted with the origin of Greek and how it relates to the Bible, and to prove the significance of knowing Greek in order to understand the Bible. Koine Greek was the dialect of Greek that was used in the Bible when it was first written. It emerged after the 4th century BC and was caused by the Hellenization of the ancient world by Alexander the Great. This comes from Mounts and Basics of Biblical Greek. Mounts also says, Koine means common, and therefore was the everyday language of the people. Koine was used in the New Testament, the Septuagint, and the writings in the Apostolic Fathers, or of the Apostolic Fathers, and excuse the misspelling. This means that when we pick up the original Bible and the text that it was written in, that us as English thinkers cannot read it. It's in Greek. You know, you've heard the expression, it's all Greek to me. It literally is. So therefore, if we were going to prove to somebody insights from the Bible, how would you do it if you don't know Greek? I'm going to show you an example right now of how Greek can be used. Let's go back to this picture that we saw in the beginning. One word that every Greek student first learns is this word right here. That's why I wanted you to move. It's a word that is pronounced kai, which looks more like this. Kai means and or even. In the verse, for the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath, in the King James Version, many people use this as a verse to explain why Sabbath is the day that we should worship on, saying that the Sabbath is the Lord's day. The argument, however, is even. And if you don't know Greek, you won't be able to explain this verse. Because a person that sees the word even in English says, okay, if he's Lord even of the Sabbath, then he's Lord even of something else. So let's go to the United Bible Societies, the Greek New Testament. This verse reads, Kurios gar estin tu sabbatu hawias tu anthropatu. And if we translate this verse, which I have done, it literally reads, for he is of the Sabbath the Son of Man. That's kind of jumbled. It's not proper English, correct?
Right.
If we take the Prince Keith version, when you take all those jumbled words and put it together, it means, for the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. Or, without the even, I'm sorry. For the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath. And when you memorize a memory verse, sometimes it sticks in your head. So that's why I memorized it in Greek as well. So there is no kai. Did you guys see a kai when you read it? So no even. The New International Version and the New American Standard Version also support this by saying, for the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath. Again, no even. Without a basic knowledge of Greek, we wouldn't be able to give better insight into this verse. If a person reads it in English, it causes lots of controversy, because every phrase and every word cannot be totally translated into English. So therefore, you might lose a few things along the way. So again, the Bible readers should become better acquainted with the origin of Greek and how it relates to the Bible. And Bible readers should gain the true meaning of what is said in the Bible with Greek knowledge. Greek can also be used as a witnessing tool. The same verse that I just gave you in Matthew 12:8 was the same verse that I used to witness to this lady in my life and teachings class. She was struggling, saying that if the Lord wants me to worship on Sabbath, why wouldn't he tell me explicitly and not say even? Because if it's even, then I can worship on Monday and Sunday, any other day. And I had just begun taking Greek, and I used that verse. Krios gar estin tu sabbatu hawias. There was no kai. This sparked a meeting between another theologian that lasted 3 hours with her husband. They conversed about it. And this was a springboard to other things that convinced him to go on the Sabbath. And by using Greek, the theologian and myself were able to convince these people to go to church on Sabbath. The next week I found out that they were going to the Apison SDA church. And this was a lady that had never known anything about Adventism. So therefore, in order to gain the meaning from the original New Testament, a reader should have basic knowledge in Greek.